Hey, it's Brad at Kinetic Group here with another video on the Smith & Wesson M&P 10. So this is probably the culmination or the best part of this series so far. I had two goals in this range session. It was to find a load that my rifle liked, and also then to push my rifle to its as far as I could push it to see what it was capable of, which I think I met both of those goals during this range session. So this is a third of 3 range sessions where we're doing some long range shooting, me and some friends of mine, and the first 2 I wasn't too happy with because of the performance of the rifle, and I was shooting crappy ammo and finally decided for this range session to buy some really good ammo. So I bought Federal Gold Medal Match 175 grain Sierra Match King Boat Tail Hollow Point 308 ammo, which is kind of the standard of long range precision for the 308, and that's what I'm shooting right here. I'd shot the 168 grain Sierra Match King a little bit earlier, and it wasn't doing really what I wanted it to, and I'm really glad I got the 175 grain, which, as you'll see as this video progresses, it was performing pretty well. So the scope I'm using is Vortex Optics 4-16 first focal plane scope. I've talked about it in our previous video. I'm also using the Ballistic app. The actual name of it is Ballistic for my data, and it seems to be working out okay. Some of the data isn't exactly right, but I'm sure I can fine tune that with the factors and variables I put in there. As you can see, I'm hitting low on the plate at 750 yards initially, but soon I find it and start ringing it. And I believe it's a 16-inch plate. The plate at 500 yards was a 12-inch plate. And it's interesting, the plate at 750, it's a really, really heavy, thick plate. And we're having a hard time because of the distance, seeing it moving, and also having a hard time hearing it. So we're having to go off of a white cloud that I guess was the paint as the bullet was hitting, and you'll see that once I start making hits, but it's pretty hard to see at first, and then we figured out how to read it. Also, as you can see here, the wind was pretty variable the entire time. It'd die down and be pretty minimal, but then it'd go left to right and then right to left, and we're still kind of novices at this whole thing and figuring out how to read the wind, so makes it pretty interesting. Also, you can see in the distance it's an IPSC style target hanging out past the 750, and that's at 1130 or 1140. I think it's 1130 yards. I tried at that, but we could never see where we're hitting with that. But then my friends, I'll show some footage of them. They're getting pretty close on this range session, but previously they were ringing it once they had their load figured out and found their data. They're hitting it consistently out at 1130 yards with a Ruger precision rifle, which I'll show some of those clips a little bit later in the video. But now I'm starting to hit the plate at 750 yards, and I keep hitting it. I get about 5 or 6 hits in a row, which made me pretty happy, and it's at about 800 or 900, I can't remember exactly, 800 or 900 yards on my app that my round was going to go transonic. So I pushed the rifle and the round right up to before transonic at 750 yards, and was pretty happy that I was able to hit consistently on that plate once I figured out the correct hold.
That's a hit too. Yeah, that's awesome. I like this 175 grain.
What's the Hornady?
No, it's a Federal.
For a while, I wasn't sure whether this rifle would actually be capable of hitting out consistently at ranges like that, just being a gas gun and also being a lower end gas gun in the market. It's running right now for around 1200, 1100, 1200, and then I went ahead and put a free float rail on it to free float the barrel, give a little bit more accuracy to it. But other than that, again, I wasn't expecting it to do as well as it did, and it's only going to get better as I myself get better at long range shooting and also further refine my data on these targets and ranges. So again, I was pretty happy with this range session and figuring out what load the rifle liked.
8.1. Nice. Oh, I think I found my load.
So here's some footage from our first range session. We built a bench and then started shooting. And this was a hit at 730, I believe it was, yards. At the end of the day, everyone had been trying, and we finally got a couple hits on it. But it's pretty funny because now it's like so easy, but back then we were so excited about it. It's just amazing how quickly we all progressed and figured out our data and our loads for our rifles. But pretty cool progression. And then here's my friends shooting out to 1130 yards. Right here you can see it hits just off the high right of the target. And then he might have gotten a couple hits on this, and it was just really difficult to see. But the ones that I could see hit dirt were hitting the high right, but just barely off the right side of the torso. And to me, I think it's absolutely phenomenal to be hitting that precisely out at that range. And this rifle is a Ruger precision rifle chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor, but they're absolutely killing it. And maybe I'll be able to head out there someday with my 308, maybe. But here's a few more shots. But overall, pretty awesome range session. I was loving the performance of my rifle, and these guys are absolutely killing it all day. But thanks for watching.